Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to present our master thesis today. My name is Faisal Amin and my partner name is Majid Khan. Our subject is web server performance evaluation in cloud computing and local environments. We are very thankful to our supervisor, Dr. Professor Lars Rundberg, for having nice guidance throughout this period. First of all, I would like to discuss the outlines we are going to present in our master thesis to today's presentation. Introduction, motivation, aim and objectives, then we will discuss research questions, research methodology, systematic literature review, experiments, conclusions, and finally we will discuss future work. First of all, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is a model for enable convenient on-demand network access to the shared pool of configurable computing resources, for example, network, servers, storage, application, services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with a minimum manager efforts or with a minimum service provider interactions. Here's the visual cloud model. According to the National Institute of Scientific and Technologies, cloud has been divided into three layers, major layers. In the bottom line, if you see the deployment model, service model, and essential characteristics. In the deployment models, cloud has been divided in four parts: public, private, hybrid, and community. Public cloud is available for all the publics. Private cloud is for the single user, single organizations, is used by single organizations. Hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private clouds. And community cloud is used, shared by the many organizations. In the middle, there is a service model, which is consists of the three parts: software as a services, platform as a services, infrastructure as a services. Software as a service is used by the consumers, platform as a used by the software developers to test their applications to deployments. Infrastructure as for the users who use their virtual machines, use the configurable services, configurable operating systems. On the top, there are the essential characteristics. For example, on-demand file services, measure services, rapid elasticity, broad network access, and with a pool of resources. Here's our motivation. Web server is a key application providing services to the clients in the networks. Organizations, users, researchers want to their host the research resources on cloud because of number of the benefits. They want to ensure the performance of the cloud web server as compared to the local traditional web servers. Here's the aim of our research, which is to evaluate the web server performance in local and cloud environments. To fulfill these aims, we have objectives. We found some factors and metrics which play a very important part in the web server and the performance of the web server. Secondly, we perform an experiment evaluating the web server performance by selecting some of identified parameters. Here are research questions. First research question for this project is: what are the factors that affect the web server performance in the cloud? The second research question is: what is the performance for the web server in a local and cloud environment? Here is the research methodology we followed throughout this master thesis. In order to answer research question 1, a comprehensive literature study is carried out to find the more relevant study to the cloud computing. For the research question 1, we follow systematic literature review. For the systematic literature review, we followed the kitchen hand guidelines. we perform the inclusion and exclusion criteria we defined. And to make our research more specific and to find the more relevant and to reduce the chance of missing articles, we followed this further rules with the snowball methods. In the snowball methods, we try to find more related articles related to the clouds, web servers, and more parameters regarding the parameters which affect the web server performance. For research question 2, we perform an experiment on the both local web server and cloud computer. For the cloud computing, we use City Cloud Network, Sweden, to perform our test, and for local we use local computer. First of all, here is the result and the procedures and steps we followed in the systematic literature review. In the systematic literature review, we start with the search keywords. We made keyword synonyms and construct the search strings. And this the final search string we put in the different database, IEEE, ACM, Spring Links, Scopus, and Inspect, according to their rules in the different databases. Initially, we got 283 hits according to our search strings, according to cloud computing web servers. We'll find based on the database facilities, which produces only 3 articles, and we remain with the 280 articles. Then we find it more filtered with on the titles, which reduced to the 27 articles which are related. Then we more filter this by reading abstracts, by reading whole papers and conclusions, and we find finally 10 articles here. One was article duplicated, and initially we come with the 9 articles for primary study. After that, we follow snowball settings. With the articles which we found in the last 9 articles, we put here initial set of articles. Then we followed, check articles one by one, check their references to find the more relevant articles from these 9 articles. And if there was relevance, we included to the our final list more. If not, then we go through then again and find another articles, and then follow the same procedures. Finally, we got here 2 articles in this process, but these 2 articles we already have included in our initial set of articles, so we exclude these articles here. Here's the result we get from our primary initial studies. We find the factors from through SLR and snowballings. These are the factors we found: execution time, throughput, CPU time per execution, security attributes, transactional integrity, QoS metrics, 32, 64-bit operations, seconds, CPU usage, memory usage, latency, dilation, utilizations, cost per operations. These are factors we found through our initial studies. In the pie chart, you see there the numbers 4, 1, 1. 4 means is execution time, 4 time discussed during our discussed in the final papers we have chosen in the 9 articles. Just like throughput is discussed 4 times, and all other factors are discussed 1. On the basis of these factors, we choose then execution time and throughput to perform an experiment. Further, we perform an experiment on these 2 factors. Here's my.
So we got our factors that we are going to perform to measure the performance on both cloud and local environment. So the factors that we have found are execution time and throughput. But here is the experiment we are going to perform. And to perform an experiment, conduct an experiment, we have made some configuration, software, hardware configuration, and especially we need some operating system to install and make those software and hardware configurations on that operating system. So what software and hardware configuration that we have made on both cloud and local environment, they are the same. same configurations we made, and the hardware configurations that we need are the RAM, which is 4 GB, and the hard disk 20 GB. Actually, the hard disk don't need this hard disk here. There is no need for to define, but actually we did. And the processor we have used is the i386, and the instance we have installed on our CT Cloud environment. That is a standard instance, which means it is composed of four cores. Means 4 cores are running at the same time. And the software that are also we have installed or we have configured for this experiment, that is Apache Web Server. Its version was 2.2.20, and we also need to install PHP server because we were making a program, PHP program, which is running a workload. So what we have done is to make that program to run that workload in PHP and run in the terminal of that operating system, which is Ubuntu 11.10 server 64-bit. So the same configurations were made on both local and cloud environment, so that we come up with the results that are more specific and to the point. And the workload that we actually need to perform on both cloud and local environment to measure the web server performance. So we have followed Eratosthenian's SIEF algorithm. What this algorithm actually is, it computes prime numbers between below some range. So that range we have defined in our workloads, which is 10,000, and in the second workload, which we call B, which is 100,000. And for workload C, we have computed prime numbers below 1 million. So in this step, we have defined 3 workloads for our experiment that we called A, B, and C. Why we choose these 3 workloads? Because these define the complexity of our task. As you see, this will need less time to compute or to run this experiment, and for workload B, it will